So I know, again, if Ryan's here, right now, he's got this arm controlling my knee to make sure I can't pull it out. But he's kind of sprawling his weight. He's using his head to push into me and try and make me flat, keeping it inside my chest and shoulders. Sometimes if he were up a little higher, he were taller, he might have it right under my chin, kind of driving me flat. But the main thing from here is he's heavy enough on my hips and low enough on my body that I can't really use that bridge effectively. But as long as I can still keep this one leg checking him, okay? So even if I had a figure four, right, what I can do is unhook, and then I can move my hip. So right now, it's not going to be the bridge. Again, it's going to be the hip escape, the shrimp. So my arms are trying to keep him from getting a cross face or throwing this arm to the far side. But while I do that, I'm going to move my hip just enough, okay, that I can get my knee in. And you'll find that even if you hug my hip really tight, whereas the bridge isn't, I can't get my arm through because his chest is just all that pressure, I can still move myself here and get that knee in, right? And it doesn't need to be perfect, but once I get that little contact patch, here's what I'm looking to do, okay? I'm looking to extend my shoulders away. I go back to the basic shrimp crawl exercise everybody does all the time. And I make this little insertion point, and I move my hips away. And now people will say, well, couldn't he pin your knees together and smash them, and then, or start to go this way, or crawl around this way? The answer is yes to all those. But all I'm doing is using my frames now as a little bit of a bookmark, temporarily keeping Ryan where he's at, so I can do this. And once I do this, then this is a temporary bookmark, my knee inside the hip bone, for me to do this. And once I've done that, okay, really hold my leg in place. Okay, Ryan's using his left arm right now to really hold my leg in place. Okay, very, very difficult to stop the guard retention at that point because I have so much extension, right? He's not even here anymore. He's like down here. So I'm really using a checks and balances system to reverse engineer that all the way through, okay? So from here, kind of use your head to try and drive me flat a little bit, good. So right now, I'm just trying to keep whatever frames I can to keep him from advancing, but I feel where his pressure is. Ryan right now is very tight and very heavy on my hip line, okay? So my hips and my abdomen and everything. So I feel smothered here, but I feel the pressure down here. That's where there's going to be no meaningful bridge that's going to do anything for me. So instead, I keep his arms where they're at, and I put in my second bookmark, which is going to be my knee. Shrimp, get that in, okay? Hard for him to stop. Now, I could maybe lock my feet together here, so on and so forth. We'll talk about that. I could play a Z-guard, what have you, but I'm not looking to do that right now as a first priority. My first priority is to be able to improve my position. So what I'm going to do right now is once I've escaped my hips, I'm going to then escape my shoulder here. And now you see, Ryan still has his hand on my knee, but what I'm going to do is be bringing my knee up towards my head. And once I do, I change my angle. Now, I might bring my knee up and put my foot there, and now I've got sort of an open guard like this. This is where you could insert your way into playing a shin shield type of guard, so on and so forth. I may be able to enter into some attacks from there because his head is a little bit offline. You know, we can go into all that, but right now this is the primary skill. And again, if we kind of just go back to basics, you know, what we see all the time, it's going to be moving up and down the floor. What do? We put a foot on the mat, right? So we have our weight only on the bottom shoulder, the top, top of the foot, the ball of the foot of the top leg. So bottom shoulder, top leg, ball of the foot. Two small pivot points. I escape my hips, then I escape my shoulders, right? Same thing we do in self-defense to avoid being in punching range. Move your hips away, move your shoulders away. That's how you get distance. Same thing we're going to use for this. It doesn't matter if he were pure sport grappling. It doesn't matter if he's got a gi. It doesn't matter if he's no gi. It doesn't matter if he's not punching or if he is punching. Okay, this is the same order, okay? So, one more time. Make sure as you're doing this, okay, you're never going to release your half guard hook. You do have to have some connection here to your partner's leg. A lot of times if I do unlock, you'll see me do this little insert here with my right foot. See, it's kind of hooking over his calf. Just a little check to know he's there. But I'm not going to hang out here for very long, okay? First checkpoint is making sure he doesn't improve his arm position, right? So what would that look like? Ryan would probably, well, first, you don't want to leave that knee on police, so he would bring his knee in to make sure my bottom leg is controlled so I can't pull guard. Then he would start to pummel up with this one, okay? We talked about options if he does that, but right now, let's assume that's what I want to prevent. So my frames here are to keep my arms protected and also to keep his arms from advancing. If I have my legs hooked, I unhook them, and now I move my hips up just enough until I can put my knee just inside that hip bone over here. And once I've done that, then I move my shoulders, okay? And from here, yeah, I could come down and I could start to work on his grip and everything, but what you'll find is at this moment, once I've gotten this far off, if I just really bring my knee up, okay, so I'm not trying to pull guard right away, I'm trying to first bring my knee to me, and then I change my angle. It's very hard for him to stop. Okay? So let's go ahead and try that first.